Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. I have been in search of an antique swan planter for quite some time and have had no success. So you can imagine my delight when I found this beautiful planter on Amazon for only about $60. I fully expected to get something that was kind of cheap and only okay, but I have to say, if you're a fan of gray, this actually looks quite good fresh out of the box. But as many of you know, my color scheme doesn't really lend itself to gray here in the house. So while I wanted that antiqued French country look, I didn't want the gray cool undertones. In order to get that warmer look, I started with a base coat of linen. It's almost a tan cream mix. It's very deep and warm, and I thought it was a good way to start. I wanted to cover all of the gray. I didn't want any of it peeking through. But don't worry, I'm going to put the texture back in. This piece has such gorgeous layering, and I'm going to use two other colors to add back the depth and the antiquing, and I think you're going to like how it turns out. Once I completed the linen coat, I went in with this absolutely destroyed brush and some burnt umber colored paint. What I did was rub this into the crevices and the cracks and the textured parts, and then took a water spritzer and misted it very slightly and used a rag to kind of rub it in and thin it out almost like a wash. Now I could have stopped here. She actually looked quite good, but I wanted just a bit more depth, and I wanted to really have those higher bits, the ends of her feathers, the higher spots where there was movement. I wanted that highlighted. So I took this color called Warm White, which is actually quite bright compared to the darker colors, and basically I dry brushed this on. In the video, it looks like I'm using quite a bit of paint, but I'm barely touching my brush in the paint and quickly wisping it across the tops of the ends of the feathers and the places that I want to look like there's height. Remember that darkness pulls your eye in and brightness lets your eye come back and see height and dimension even more so than what's already physically there. I then took an actual dry brush with no paint on it and rubbed that white off, a lot of it. So basically you're applying some paint, but then you're rubbing a lot of it off. And you're doing this in two different layers, one with the dark umber and one with that lighter white color. And that allows that time and age and patina to start to build on the piece in a way that makes it look pretty natural, I think. I'm just in love with the shape of this swan. Those of you who have been here before and have seen my swan planter collection, you know how picky I am about their necks and their body posture, and just I'm discerning about what I add into my collection. And this piece has me absolutely delighted, and I cannot believe it was an Amazon $60 find. Of course, I will link it below for you, and hopefully it is still in stock. I couldn't leave this gorgeous piece empty, so I took all these blooms that were crowding my kitchen after a day of cutting flowers, and I made a dramatic, soft, full arrangement to complement the body of this beautiful planter. I'm delighted by how this turned out. Some of the flowers that are in here you will recognize as roses from my back garden. I've got both Teasing Georgia, that's the darker one, and I've got Vanessa Bell in here, that's that very pale yellow rose. The white flowers are mock orange or Philadelphus. Smells incredible and makes great filler for bouquets. It's a pretty old world plant, and I remember my grandmother growing this in her garden, so it's pretty special to me that way. This is a double variety. I've also got Scabiosa or pincushion flower in there, and of course those beautiful hydrangeas. The Scabiosa and the mophead hydrangea come from the French hydrangea garden that I just put in, and I'm so looking forward to showing you that garden. So I hope you'll come back and see the tour of that garden, which will be coming soon, and I will see you all in the next video.